Welcome back to Show Me What I've Been Missing, your pop culture podcast that says, hey, look at that thing. I'm one of your hosts, Elizabeth Stanton. With me is my other host.
Prost! I'm Chris Mack.
Are you doing like the drinking song motion from Whose Line Is It Anyway?
No, Prost is just cheers in German.
Yeah. Well, you were moving your hand back and forth like you were holding a mug, and it made me think of when they do.
Oh yeah, this is it. Yeah, I watched Beer Fest the other night, so I'm kind of.
God, I love Beer Fest. I love Beer Fest. It's
good
so
movie. It's a good movie. Very funny.
But that's not what we're here to talk about. Actually, we're here to talk about. It could be.
It could be.
But we're actually here to talk about Sex and the City. We're watching it from start to finish. I've seen it a million times. Chris hasn't really seen it at all. And we're deep in season 6, the final season. And we just watched episode 7, The Post-it Always Sticks Twice. AKA the episode after the Post-it breakup.
Yeah.
Oof. That Post-it breakup.
Here's the thing about that. Again, we said this on the last episode, but I'm gonna say it again. Does Carrie deserve a breakup like this? Yes. But does it make it any shittier? No. Or any less shitty, excuse me, then no.
No.
Like it's still shitty, but like, you know what I'm saying? It happened to the right character. Like if that happened to any other character, it'd be just really fucked up. But like the idea of that happening to a person in general is pretty shitty.
Yeah. Anybody else you'd feel terrible, but Carrie.
Like, yeah, I mean, she was due for a breakup like that. Let's be honest.
Yeah, because even the Aiden stuff ended pretty, not amicably, but pretty, like gently.
I mean, she didn't get destroyed by that breakup. You know what I mean? Like this was a kind of like a destructive kind of breakup for her. You know what I mean? And I don't think it's like they broke up. I think it's the fact that how he did it, and the fact that she was gonna break up with him, and then he first, so her ego was also crushed on top of being broken over.
Totally.
That's the only thing, really.
So this one, it's kind of, you can't really. We're not gonna, I think, be able to separate the storylines out like we usually do. I feel like. It's kind of all
together. Really.
They're kind of all together the whole episode, which is kind of nice. I kind of like it when they're all together too, because. You know, they don't often. I feel like that doesn't happen that often. Where they're
no, not really. I mean, I might be count on one hand how many times it's been like kind of all 4 of them together in one big story. But you kind of separate it because they're all kind of like, even though they're all together, they do kind of have their own.
Yeah, everybody has their own storyline.
Yeah, to go through.
Well, who do you want to maybe start with? Maybe Miranda. I feel like hers is a little.
Yes, let's go for it. Yeah,
I almost said slim, but that would be too on the nose for the whole theme of it.
All over the nose, dancing on the nose.
Yeah. So her whole thing, this whole episode is they want to go out after Carrie's breakup, and she calls. You know, we'll get to all the other stuff, but her focus is she's getting ready to go out, but she's like, I don't feel good, hot. I don't feel so hot. And Carrie's like, oh no, are you sick? And she's like, no, I literally don't feel hot enough to go to a club.
Okay, so let me ask you this: as a woman, has you ever been like about to go out with friends and just felt like nothing you could put on, or no kind of makeup, or nothing you could wear would make you feel, I guess, attractive? Is how she was feeling?
I've definitely been stressed about like. Just the location, what to wear, and like if I'll kind of like fit in there. So kind of. Although I will say this is very, very funny. It wasn't so much that we weren't gonna feel hot, like literally hot enough to go, but a couple weeks ago, I was still in the middle of like a bad cold. And like kind of over it, but not really, and I truly need to stay home. And so I like laid down and then got up, an hour or two before I need to get going. And was like laying there. I was like, well, I guess I'll go do my hair and stuff. And like just as I was about to like drag myself off the couch, my friend was like, hey, how badly you want to go to this premiere? And I was like, well, I mean, it'd be cool to see it, but if you don't want to go, she's like, I don't want to go. I was like, all right, sweet, we don't gotta go. We're done. We just both called it off. And we were both like, truly like both we were so relieved, so happy for each other. We were like, this is the best night we've ever had by not going anywhere.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, because I've definitely been in places or about to go to places where I'm like, I don't think my wallet's big enough for this place. Like, I don't think that
Exactly.
I can.
Yeah.
You know, what I mean? Like, there's no real reason I should be occupied by this in this space. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There have been like, cool hip places that I won't lie, frankly, as a more plus size lady, I get a little like self conscious in a way where it's like it's a miracle they let me in, or I'm really only being let in because I'm with like cooler, hotter people. I don't go to those types of places that often, so it doesn't happen a lot, but there's just that kind of like stress about it, but I'm in an okay enough place where I was like, yeah, well, I still got in, I still am here. What are you gonna do? But like, and if you're that freaked out by me being there, how insecure are you? Like, like what am I gonna? I guarantee you, I am not very likely stealing your man on looks alone. Now, on personality, fucking rocking that.
Watch out! Watch out!
Watch the fuck out. I'm funny as fuck, entertaining, charming. I will steal them on that level. But if you're worried about like, oh man, like, and also, why exclude me in the first place? Like, again, like, what do you fucking care if I'm there or not? Like, what does it matter?
Yeah, it's just a thing that some clubs have is like
Yeah,
they're it's very they try to make it more exclusive because
yeah,
it makes people want to come there, and then two, it's like if they present a certain image, and
yeah. And
it
I
can
get
bring
it.
in
Like,
like,
I'm an average schmo.
no, here's
Yeah.
the thing about it, I always found that it's ridiculous because okay, yes, for a while you'll cultivate the audience that you're
Mhm.
maybe trying to have there, but eventually people are just gonna, it's just like in a club, like eventually it's just gonna wear off, so you might as well just
Mhm.
start out letting everybody, not everybody, but like a
Well, people,
majority of people, you
yeah,
know what I mean? So because eventually the people who started, the demographic you were trying to head up are eventually going to move on to the next big thing, so they're not going to
hmm
be the same people after, like, I don't know, a couple of years, a few
yeah,
months, who knows, especially like in a city like LA, you know what I mean? Like, how many times has a hot new club open 6 months later, people are like, oh, I don't go there anymore.
yeah. But
Anyway.
Miranda, because Miranda is feeling very like, oh, I'm heavy. Like, I hate the 2000s because they're like, oh, look at her, she's just barely fitting in these like skinny jeans that she has in the back of her closet. Now the skinny jeans thing, well, now they're just a
Oh
style
yeah.
thing. Okay, but the skinny
The,
like jeans I'm going to fit into. I mean, yeah, I have done this in the past. I haven't.
okay.
Miranda says she's held on to them since like 1985. That's literally 15 years ago. Fucking throw those, donate those jeans and get a pair that fucking fits.
Listen. Listen. I've never done this, or at least not held on to. I mean, I've held on to clothes for a very long time,
Sure.
but not because I'm going to fit into them one day.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is not the first time I've heard of this. I know some people that have saved clothes from like 20 years ago. They're still like, one day I'm going to put it on and it's going to fit just like it did back in the day. I'm like,
I mean, they
you
used
know
to
how
literally
it is?
advise in like magazines and stuff like
Yeah,
buy a smaller size of the thing you want to be wearing,
yeah,
and then that's your goal, which is like just so fucked up. Like, you should just
yeah,
be like, the way to feel the best about yourself, the most stylish, all those good things, is to wear something that fits, you at the time.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
actually, I know people rag on it now, but like the show What Not to Wear, I thought was like pretty good about doing that, because there have been people on that show. This is another TLC show. Did you ever watch What Not to Wear?
No.
And well, that
Oh,
was they take people, and yes, it was a little voyeury, like they secretly film them and then have them bring literally their entire closet of clothes to these two fashion experts, and they'd go through and throw out everything that doesn't fit, doesn't look good, or is out of, not a good style. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, they made him dress too generic. Well, some people were like trying to get regular office jobs and like rolling in like Hello Kitty outfits, and they're like, but I'm unique. And everyone's like, yeah, that's fine. but like,
sorry, you on your own time.
Exactly. Like, sorry, you just can't fucking do that. I'm all for expression. I get it, but like, you know what? I wouldn't mind my fucking accountant wearing like a nice shirt and some trousers. If I rolled in and my accountant was like, I'm dressed like a fucking Harajuku girl from this 2005 era. Not, and I don't mean that like, you're dressed like a fucking cartoon character is a better way of putting it. Like,
right. Yeah.
I'm not gonna fucking trust you to do my taxes and shit. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I probably won't either. Yeah, I mean, we can all pretend that looks don't mean anything, but
Yeah.
it kind of do.
But the what not to wear show would always, they would, there are people who are much slimmer than they look at the clothes, but they're insecure or they'd lost a lot of weight, but like we're still dressing like they were a larger size, so they're drowning in like giant hoodies and jeans and everything. And then when they get to go shopping and like buy stuff that fits, they're like, oh, I look great. And they're like, yeah, you always did. You just were hiding in like ill-fitting stuff. Or, on the flip side, people were wearing too tight stuff. And they're like, people kind of look down at me or think I'm like not as stylish. They're like, yeah, because it's too tight and it doesn't look right. It's all you got to wear what your size is at. You want to change the size, more power to you, by all means. I'm trying to do it too, but like, I'm not buying anything that's smaller than what I would need to wear right at this moment.
Yeah, I mean, like the skinny jeans, it can be a good motivator, but I also think it can be a demotivator at the same time. You know what I mean? Because like if you're not, especially if you're, because some people, especially when it comes to like dieting and stuff like that, the smallest little trigger can send them back into bad habits. So like, if you think you've been working out for like 6 weeks and you think you lost like 5 pounds and you go in the jeans and you're like heavier than you were before, you know what I'm saying? Not thinking like, oh, I built muscle, like whatever, but like if you don't know that, you're just gonna be like, oh shit, well I gained 5 pounds, so now I'm just gonna not do this anymore. Like what's the point if I'm not even gonna do this shit? So it can be very bad. Yeah, it can be very bad. I was wondering if cause like they, I know a lot of times this show kind of speaks in generalities, but I'm just wondering if like there are women that have, a pair of jeans or a shirt or a blouse or something like that they know like one day
or a dress or something like that.
Yeah,
that's definitely happened. Also, I love wearing jeans. I might be the only person who does, or the only girl who does, maybe, because I just see so many like posts and TikToks about like, oh, I hate wearing jeans, but it's because people are buying like, frankly, to my opinion, too tight a size of jean, and then they're like, oh, I hate jeans, they're uncomfortable, and I'm like, right, like fucking size up, man. Like it's not the end of the world. Like whatever jean size you think you are.
No, first of all, it's 100% that reason, because I know I've talked to women that are like, oh, I buy a size like 2 sizes smaller. You know what I'm saying? Because they want everything to be tight and make their butts look like they're bigger than they are and all this other stuff. But it's like, why do you want to be uncomfortable?
Yeah.
That's why, like, sometimes I think it's a crock of shit when women are like, I dress for myself. How are you dressing for yourself if you're uncomfortable? So you like making yourself uncomfortable?
Yeah.
That doesn't compute. So either you're a masochist or you're lying. Which one is it?
I actually like wear jeans too often. I made it a New Year's goal a couple of years ago to quit asking my one friend who I go to all the premieres and stuff with if she thought I could get away with wearing jeans at this one because it's more casual. That's like, I finally like sucked it up and was like, no, you have nice dresses. It's not even super fancy red carpet stuff, but just like an ounce more effort, and I feel better. I won't lie, I feel better at them because I'm like a little more dressed up, and so I feel a little more like I belong, and it's all good. But yeah, to me, I'm like, just buy shit that fits. I actually keep coming across some TikTok thing where this girl's like part, whatever, of cleaning out my closet till I love everything. And I'm sorry, I don't know if, I don't mean to shit on her at all, but like, I don't know if she gained weight from when she originally bought items and was just holding on to them, which she kind of seems to have, or like is acknowledging like, oh, this doesn't fit anymore, or like, what was I thinking when I bought it? But like half of the stuff she's putting on is all too tight, and I was like, oh my god, what a fucking waste of money you had in the first place. If you're buying shit that didn't fit to begin with, and then you don't like it because it doesn't fit, and then you just sits in the back of your closet forever, and then you just wasted God knows how much money.
Yeah, like if your goal is if you're buying stuff small on purpose and your goal is to like, lose weight and to fit into them, then you have to stick to it. Like
Yeah.
you can't like it can't be like a kind of an idea you had to you have to like literally come out with a plan. You got to go write some shit down. You got to go figure out a workout plan, meal plan, and all this other shit. Like you really got to do it because if you just try to do it on a whim, it ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna
But
work.
for much to Miranda's glee, the skinny jeans fit, and she does look good in the outfit. She looks great.
Oh,
And
by the way, okay. Maybe
yeah.
I'm crazy.
Uh-huh.
Everybody was like shining glory on her butt. I don't think it was that great of a
She
butt.
still has a flat ass. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, because I mean, shout out to Samantha because she's all like, "Oh, look at that ass!
Always,
I didn't know you
yeah,
got
yeah,
such a
yeah.
great ass." You know, what I'm saying like, shout out to Samantha being a
Yeah.
good friend. Gassing up her friends and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, that ass ain't really nothing there. I don't know what we looking at right now. Like kudos for fitting in the jeans, but like,
Yeah.
what's in them?
Well, yeah. Couple of pancakes is what's in them. I
I don't know why, but that was super Midwestern of you. A couple of pancakes. I don't know why. I don't know why, but it was, man.
It's my Midwestern version of. I've always thought this was so funny, and this is so niche, but several years ago when I was working on an entertainment news show, and we were promoting that we had done an interview with Jamie Dornan from 50 Shades of Grey and everything, or who I prefer now in Barb and Stargo to Vista Del Mar. I love him. He's so funny. He was so great. But we made a big deal in the promo I was working on about like he talks about having, he got voted like the sexiest butt for whatever. But he's Irish or from Northern Ireland and has a super dry sense of humor. And so in the actual interview, when I watched it, the interview was like, Jamie, you were voted, and I'm not shitting on anyone. I work with these people, but like, Jamie, you got, you were voted such a, greatest butt or like sexiest butt, da 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 da. Like, what do you think? And he was like, and he's so quiet too. He's like, honestly, I'm a little surprised because to me it looks kind of like I feel like it's two fried eggs nailed to a wall, to be honest. And it just is, I think of that quote and it was so hard to promote because that was his answer. So I had to like kind of fake something else where he like, makes a sound or is like, well, I don't know. But it killed me. I can't remember what movie it was either. It was him and Cillian Murphy. So they're both just super bone dry humor. And like Cillian Murphy's kind of quietly laughing, but like these guys were just like not giving the same like, like I don't know what exuberance I think we were trying to get out of them at this interview. But I was laughing because I was like, I get it. These guys are just like super dry sense of humor, quiet, not gonna be like, oh, I love having a hot butt, but just the way he was like, I don't know, it's like two eggs nailed to a wall. It just cracked me up. So that's kind of what I thought of too when I saw Miranda, frankly. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, like I mean, like I said, respect for her fitting in there, but I don't know why Samantha was gassing her up. It wasn't, but I think it's different, right? Because like for guys, right? I think it's like the smaller the butt, the more I guess attractive it is, and then reverse it. I guess not necessarily the bigger the butt, but like, to have size is more sexy, I guess, for women than men. Because I don't know, I know a bunch of people that say like they don't like a guy with like a bubble butt or like a big butt.
I don't know how I feel about butts, to be honest. I guess I just want it proportional.
Okay, that's respectable. That's good. Yeah. That's good. That's a solid way of thinking. I think that's fine. You can get you can get by with that.
Yeah,
I think so.
And but they all congratulate her and they're like, well, how did you do it? And Miranda says it's the single mom diet because she's so busy she keeps forgetting to eat, and so that's like how she fits in the jeans. And they work for her because when they're inside this New York's hottest club, Bed, which is like a club with like beds in it that you can sit on.
I just thought of Bill Hader when you said
Oh,
that.
totally.
Like,
That's why I
New
said
York's
it. That's
hottest.
100. New York's hottest club is bad. This place has everything: pillows,
Pillows,
comforters,
sheets,
a sound
Dan
machine
Cortez.
that makes frog noises,
Dan
melatonin.
Cortez.
I love that bit so much.
Nice.
But as Miranda like goes, she's in there and she's off by herself trying to find the bathroom or whatever, and she like literally stumbles into a guy's bed, haha. And she's like super
More
flirty
like
with him.
shoved. She was like
Yeah, she
shoved
gets
into the
like
guy's
knocked,
bed.
gets like knocked
Yeah.
into the bed.
Yeah.
And she just has, she kind of misses a lot of the action with Carrie, which we'll get to, but she's just having a good time, and that's nice. And the guy asks if she has a boyfriend because they're about to rush out of the club, and he's like, "Do you have a boyfriend?" She's like, no. And he's like, "Oh, that's not possible." And she's like, "Oh well," she thanks him, and he's like, "What for?" And she just doesn't really say anything, but it's like sometimes you just need that fucking confidence boost.
Yeah, I kind of, yeah, because like I know she hesitated. She like stopped herself. You could tell she was gonna say because I'm a single mom, but like,
Yeah.
or because I have a kid, something around that order. But I'm kind of okay there because she didn't. You can tell she was like not really interested in seeing this guy any further.
Yeah.
She was just kind of like enjoying the attention that he was giving her, which is that's respectable. That's
Yeah.
fine. She didn't like lead him on or say like we should go out sometime or like get him to buy her a bunch of drinks and then leave. But they just sit there and had a nice chat, and then she left.
Yeah.
It's a good interactive moment,
But she's feeling herself because when they're outside,
Oh, is she feeling herself? Oh, yes, she is.
when
Oh,
they're
yes, she is.
outside trying to score some weed, she goes and talks to the guys that they notice are like smoking
Yeah.
the reefer there, and
Reefer.
yeah, I just wanted to say it.
Smoking the reefer. Were you born in the 40s? Smoke reefer with the jazz
I didn't.
musicians.
I wish. We'll get to that whole plot line. I did not look up enough goofy phrases to replace weed with, but I'll do my best. Anyway, so like Miranda kind of claims one of the guys in the group, and they get to the bar where they're supposed to buy the weed, and she's talking to the dudes, and she's just like, she's having a good time. And the conclusion of her storyline when they're all together at the diner at night is she's like, I am glad everything kind of happened as it did because I didn't realize how many cute dudes are still out there. I don't know if I wouldn't say she's over Steve necessarily in this moment, but she's like, she got like a boost she really needed to maybe kind of move on from
Yeah.
Steve
Well,
in a way.
and that's kind of where I still was on the fence about how attractive she was to Steve because now I'm even thinking about it now. It's like, is she kind of really only in love with Steve because that's really the only guy she's interacting with outside of
Yeah,
work? You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
because she's
Yeah,
not really going out there. She's not really out. She hasn't really so far the season hasn't really gone on any dates or anything like that. So really, the
yeah,
only male interaction she's having with is her son and her son's father. So it
yeah,
kind of seems like you could kind of easily fall in love, quote unquote, or think that you're in love with this person because
yeah.
that's the only person that's around that's kind of giving you attention and shit like that.
It happens. Yeah, it happens to the best of us.
Whoa, that's whoa,
Well,
that
honesty.
sounded, that
We're
sounded
not,
like a loaded response.
we're not gonna open that can of worms. But if you've listened to
Ah,
past episodes,
you, you cracked it. You cracked it though. You didn't
it's
open it all the way,
I
but
did
it's
the
cracked.
sound,
Yeah,
and that, but I
yeah,
have to
yeah,
push the tab all the way down.
It's
Look,
cracked open though. The CO2 is leaking out. That's
yeah,
all I'm saying.
leave it too long. Leave it too long. It's gonna be flat. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm not the only one. That happens where you like are in a scenario where like maybe it's limited resources for lack of a better term, and you once
Yeah,
you're kind of out of
usually.
that, you're like, oh, well, wait, okay, we can do better or different or something, but it doesn't have to be the
Yeah.
one option,
Right.
and that's a
Yeah,
good healthy
that's
thing.
what I was thinking because I think, and I mean, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I think from this night, Miranda can kind of understand it. Like, I think that's going to help her, like, kind of hone, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of wrangle her emotions and be like, all right, maybe I'm not actually in love with this dude. Maybe I'm just like liking the attention that I get from him because he's the only dude other than my babe I'm talking to.
Yeah.
You know.
So who do you want to check in with next, Charlotte or Samantha?
Let's go Samantha since her story is a little bit thicker, and then we can do Charlotte, and then I guess we have to again. And well, no, you know, yeah.
Well,
yeah. We'll do that.
We're stuck on that.
So Samantha.
So Samantha is getting Smith ready to be on TRL.
I hate that name. I don't like it. It's not. Is it better than Jared? Yes, but like Smith Jared, I don't like it. Yeah. Even like, I didn't like it just hearing her say it, but when he said it on TV, I hated it even more. Immediately. If I was a girl, I'd be like, no, you're not hot anymore. No, thank you.
I would if I was like in this universe and they're like the hottest new guy is Smith Jared, I'd be like, the fuck kind of name is that? Like, it'd be my first reaction.
This was like, not anymore, I tell you.
Nope. Oh man, it's a no for me, dog.
Yeah, so she's like helping him get ready for his TRL because she got him on TRL. Which, again, this guy, luckiest actor in New York, luckiest actor in New York. Jesus Christ, I have Samantha as your basically like working free PR for you, and you're not getting charged. Jesus, like luckiest dude in the world.
Yeah, but she's got all this designer. She's got all this designer stuff for him. All for free, probably, by the way, we should point out. Like,
of course.
You know.
She probably just had that in her closet. Like, she probably was just like, oh, yeah, I have these, like, men's outfits from, like, stuff that they've given to me to give to other people. Like, please.
And he's like, I just gonna wear this casual stuff. He's in, like, a tank top and jeans. And he's like, I'm not into labels. But then he's like, it's something my girlfriend, and she's like, whoa, sir.
Hey, take it easy.
She's like, has your
she's like, when you're on TV, don't say that you have a girlfriend for your image, and which she's not. I mean, obviously she's trying to she's like trying to deflect a little bit, but she's also not wrong because to be honest with you, stars lose a little bit of their desire when you hear that they're married or has a boyfriend or has a girlfriend, yada yada yada. Like, and because some part of us as the normal people want to think that one day possibly if we met them in like an elevator or something like that we could charm our way into being with said celebrity.
If you think I don't occasionally Google before I do interviews.
Of course.
Are they single?
Of course.
You're out of your mind. Do I think I'm pulling Andrew Garfield anytime soon, though? No. But I am great. I have a great personality. I'm really fun. I'm just saying if you want to date it.
But it's the truth, though. Like, she was, like I said, she was deflecting, but she wasn't entirely being wrong because, again, in a setting like that, right? Where he's going to be in TRL, it's like, I mean, literally, those women are in the room with him. So, like, if there's anybody that has a chance to try to woo him, it's those women who were right in front of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, if you don't think I don't dream about it, there's actually there's an article someone did several years ago with Chris Evans where they were doing a profile on him, but they ended up like hanging out with him and they didn't date him or anything out of it, but like I think they somehow ended up like spending the night at his house. But he's like he's on the up and up and like, not, but it was like the whole article, instead of kind of being a profile about Chris Evans, sort of ended up being about the sort of fantasy come true in a way for this reporter, where it's like, the dream is you're doing a great interview with someone and then you like keep talking and keep talking. And then there's like a romance novel that got spun out of that article, though. It's called Funny You Should Ask. That's the name of the art or the book. But every so look, am I realistic and knowing damn well we're not like pulling, I'm not pulling Andrew Garfield or Oscar Isaac if he was single. Like, yeah, I don't really think that shit's gonna happen. But a girl can dream. A girl can
But here's the
dream,
thing.
and that's the whole point of him
Thing.
saying he's
But
single.
here's the thing, though. But here's the thing. I think personally, this is me. Maybe I'm just that kind of guy. But I think a lot of men, especially like celebrity men, the more regular the girl is, I think she has a more chance than like him dating another celebrity. Yes, the other celebrity has a better chance because they're in the same circles and they can like meet the person and get him. But like, if I think 9 times out of 10, most celebrities only date other celebrities because like that's who's around. But like, I think any normal regular girl that doesn't have like a million fans screaming at them and like has an Instagram with like 500 followers or some shit like that, like they have a way better chance of like keeping the dude than just like dating them for like, you know, screen time and then moving on. So it's not entirely crazy. It's not entirely crazy for regular people to think that they could date. You know what I'm saying? Now, I do think on the reverse side, like if you're a regular dude trying to date a high level celebrity, your chances are mad slim because women don't cross lines the same way men cross lines. You know what I'm saying? It just ain't gonna happen. So, I mean, unless you're a regular dude with like the same amount of money that you might be making or something like that, or like running up circles, you probably be okay. But if you just a regular dude, like you work at McDonald's and she's fucking Halle Berry, you might want to curb your expectations if you ever meet.
Just a little.
Bring it back. Yeah, take it down a little bit.
But you know what? You know what? Thanks for thinking I could bag Andrew Garfield if I ever talk to him.
I'm telling you, it's so possible. It's so
if
possible.
Nothing else, I think we'd be really good friends because no joke. Sorry about this tangent. Well, I'll get back to the damn show in like 2 seconds. I ended up listening to him on Mark Maron a couple months ago, and Andrew Garfield lost his mom like right before the pandemic, and they talked a lot about all that grief and stuff like that, and it was still very fresh. So I was like literally in my car, I was like, fucking Spider-Man gets it. What the fuck? And like I totally understood everything. And it was like helpful and therapeutic, and like and Mark Maron's also lost someone, and they were talking about all this grief stuff, and I was like, I don't know if we'd date, but we definitely would like be able to talk, you know? Like
yeah, for sure.
And then my friend was like, oh my God, I wish you told me you were going to listen to that because I would have told you not to because it was probably going to make you cry. And it did. But hats off to Mark Maron and Andrew Garfield for a beautiful, wonderful podcast. I enjoyed it, even though I was like the whole time. Anywho, Smith is on TRL. I did like
this. So after he says the girlfriend thing, and you know Samantha kind of deflects from that thing, he's like, you know, she's like, you shouldn't say you have a girlfriend, just say you know, you're dating, but you haven't found someone special. And he's like, is that what you want me to say? Is that what you want me to call you? It's like you're not someone special, and she just kind of like, you know, keeps avoiding the direct answer, and I think it turns out to be a little bit of an insult to her, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, well, it doesn't feel the way I think she's kind of like hoping it will, because like when they're in the club, you know, in bed, Samantha's like, all the guys in here are really old, and Charlotte and Carrie are like, that's because you're dating like a baby. You're dating a really young guy.
He's basically a zygote.
Yeah.
She called him a zygote. That's pretty good. It's
fucking
pretty
sick,
solid.
Sick burn. So good. Solid. And but that's what she's like, we're not dating, we're fucking. And she's like, I'm gonna find someone else to fuck tonight. And when they go to the other bar, the like dive bar thing, they get the bar to turn on the TRL replay, which I question the authenticity of this, but it works for the episode because, as I recall, obviously TRL was live when it was live. You know, like it aired live at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon or whatever. I don't remember it replaying at night at all.
Yeah, like maybe in the like I think replays happen like maybe in the early afternoon or like maybe late afternoon, but I've never seen it.
But
no, you wouldn't even get an evening. No, it was usually somewhere between like 4 and 6, and then they made. Well, I guess it's technically evening, but like I
don't
even
know.
think 6 is pushing it. Usually like between like 4, maybe 5, you might get
Yeah.
a replay of that. You know what I'm saying? It might have been earlier than that, but I definitely know the sun was never down
No.
when and we're talking like this is like late at night. This is, I'm assuming, this is probably at least at the very earliest, like 11 p.m.,
I
maybe
was gonna say
midnight
11.
at,
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
this bar.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no way you're watching no TRL at this point. Not the remake of that day, or not the replay of that day. Maybe
Yeah.
an old episode from like last year or something like that. But I don't
Yeah.
even think that was a thing. You hardly ever saw any replays like that.
But nonetheless, it happens for the sake of the episode. And he takes questions from the audience, and some girl is like, "Do you have a girlfriend?" And he says the answer he's supposed to, and Samantha's like, "I don't like that. I hate that I told him to do that." Like, she's not verbalizing this, but like she clearly like dislikes that it happened. So she decides to
Yes.
kiss some random dude in the bar who had like kind of tried to hit on her like moments before. But it turns out he totally has that guy in the bar totally does have a girlfriend, and she's got a posse, and they were like nearly getting a fight, but these girls were ready to beat their asses for kissing that guy.
I, okay, here's my thing. The only thing I didn't like about that scene, I think it was hilarious because, like, yeah, she was like trying to, mask her feelings of hurt by kissing some dude. But I don't know. I don't see Miranda. Oh no, excuse me, not Miranda. Excuse me, Samantha as a runaway gal from a fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
I feel like
you remember,
she'd throw hands.
yeah, because you remember in what was it, season 1 or 2, when she was dating the black dude and her sister was like all up in her. She was ready to fight. She was ready
Yeah,
to
yeah,
scrap with the sister. So if
yeah.
you tell her to fight with that sister, you tell me she's worried about some Long Island trash girls at the bar. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think so. I think she'd be ready to fight.
Maybe time has changed her.
I guess it was funnier because, well, here's the thing. Here's the only reason why I think Samantha ran in that situation. It's because, one, there were 4 women,
Yeah.
and her backup was Carrie. And
Yeah.
Carrie ain't got no hands, son. Carrie ain't got no hands. Carrie would just be getting her ass mollywop, and she'd be sitting there the whole time trying to
Yeah.
like get the bitches off of Carrie while she's trying to fight 2
Yeah.
other men.
Exactly. Carrie is not
It was
is not
working.
is not a good.
Strategically, she did the right thing by
Yeah.
running away. Yeah.
Those chicks would break Carrie in half in 2 seconds. Like, just one,
Oh, they would mop the entire bar floor with her. What are you talking about? Literally,
talk
they would turn her upside down, use her hair as a mop
mom.
for the entire bar.
Just
Yeah, no. So she actually, no, I take it back. She was smart for running because she really wasn't saving her own ass. She was saving Carrie's ass because Carrie would have got worked.
yeah.
But let me ask you this though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because it's been a while since her and Richard were together, right? It's been a
Yeah.
while. So why do you think she's so adverse to being his girlfriend? I have a theory, but I want to know why you don't think.
That is an excellent question. I think because earlier, briefly, when she's talking with Carrie about her breakup, Carrie's like, "You've got the right idea, and like no labels. Like, you can't be an ex-girlfriend if you're never a girlfriend." And I think it's a little bit of hurt from Richard because all during her and Richard's relationship, she kind of kept saying, "Hey, let's not," they didn't want to label it. They didn't want to, she was trying to not get too invested in him, but she did anyway because she just kept ending up falling deeper and deeper for him, and it got her hurt. He continued to cheat on her, even though like
Or
they
what she
were,
thought he would.
yeah. And like when she thought he wouldn't, after he kind of said he wouldn't, because even though
Yeah.
he admitted to not being a monogamous type, and she's kind of always thought of herself as a non-monogamous type, which I think she very much, for the most part, is. But
Yeah.
heart wants what it wants, and if you want to like not settle down, but if you want to like stay with just one person, that's fine. And I think because she let that happen with Richard, got hurt, I think that's why she's so hesitant to do it with Smith.
Okay.
What's your
Now my theory is a little less. I mean, it's part of that. I think a little bit, but I think a lot of it has to do with 2 things. One, he's an actor. She never takes.
Mm-hmm.
She I don't think she takes that career seriously. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
she just Yeah, because remember, she almost was like, I ain't gonna fuck this dude no more because he's an actor. But
Mm-hmm.
I think also too, it is part of the Richard thing because this is because she doesn't really, see herself like dating an actor. He's kind of her little pet
Yeah,
right now. I mean,
I think
she's kind
that's
of,
very much
helping him
part of it.
blossom, get his career growing. She likes the idea that she's fucking the dude on the billboard and stuff like that. And if she becomes his girlfriend, then that whole like playful fantasy thing kind of
Mm-hmm.
dissipates. And now she's in a real thing and she can't just like view him as the dude on the billboard.
I think that's
That's my
excellent.
theory.
I think that's accurate. Yeah, I buy that.
Yeah. Cool.
So it ends with her taking a call from Smith, but we didn't really get much from that call. It's kind of
Yeah.
it's whatever, and then she doesn't have too much to say at the diner at the end. So let's move on to Charlotte.
Well, because they were eating that goddamn Sunday that looked delicious, by the
Yeah.
way. That shit goddamn good. I was like, I don't know why there's 4 spoons in there. Cause let me tell you something. That's one is for me.
That's what.
One
Yeah.
whole Sunday
This is an ice
for
cream
me.
sundae
I
for
don't know.
me. And remember,
I wish
her
somebody would try to. Yeah, go ahead and
her
stick your
and
fruit and your spoon in
Carrie,
there. We'll get back.
her and Carrie are high in that scene too. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Good
No,
luck.
I know, but I'm just saying there's
Yeah.
no. I get what you're saying. I'm just saying if it were me and I'm high, ain't no way 4 spoons are gonna be a Sunday. It's gonna be 1 spoon, and if you stick another spoon in there, now I have 2 spoons because you're not, you're not doing that. You just gave me another utensil to shovel more ice cream into my mouth because no one else is eating this thing.
So sweet Charlotte though is happily engaged. She's like walking on air. She's letting other people take her cab. She's so happy, and I'm happy for
Yes.
her.
Yeah, me too, dude.
Yeah,
I love it when Charlotte's,
I love it.
getting good things.
Yeah. Especially because she, honest to God, had so many weirdos in the beginning. It's nice to see her with.
She definitely had the weirdest of weirdos
Yeah.
in this series so far. Yeah, she definitely has.
So she's at they're
I
at
think
brunch.
yeah, because even Miranda's weirdo was the dude who like liked getting spanked. That was like the only kind of weird dude
Yeah.
that she had.
Yeah, they had
Everybody else,
more. They all had their share of weirdos in like the early
mhm.
episodes. When it was sort of like, oh, weird sex stories from the city and less sort of character driven. But
Yeah,
Charlotte's were definitely always the weirdest, like of
the
the
weirdest
weird.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what she had a dude that was like, just she dated for 2 weeks, and he was like, "So can I put it in your butt?"
Yeah,
Whoa,
yeah,
dude,
yeah,
2 weeks.
yeah.
Take it easy, bro. 2 weeks? That's not even Jesus. You
Yeah.
can barely ask for a blowjob in 2 weeks. You go straight to the butt.
Yeah.
Take it down, my boy.
Sir.
Sir. Let's clutch the pearls, sir.
Sir.
What kind of lady you think I am?
But yeah, at the brunch, she tells them she's engaged. They're all super happy for her, and she's showing the ring. And she said it's based off of one Richard Burton gave Elizabeth Taylor, which I forgot to research all this. I kind of know it offhand. Richard Burton did famously give Elizabeth Taylor a humongous diamond ring. I
Really?
think for the first marriage because they were married twice. Because our girl Elizabeth Taylor was married 8 times.
Yeah, we talked about this before on the podcast. Yeah.
And 2 of them were to Richard Burton. There is actually a fantastic book about their whole relationship, I think called Furious Love. It is so fascinating. They're both very, very interesting figures. And while they loved each other very, very much, they were ultimately very bad for each other. Which is kind of sad. Like it's truly like it's toxic, but not I think in the way people necessarily think of now. But it was just like, it's interesting to read. I highly recommend it. But luckily none of that happens for Harry and Charlotte. But Charlotte's just a big Elizabeth.
Quick tangent. You want to hear about some toxic shit? Did you hear about the couple in England that got divorced after they found out that they were cheating on each other with each other online?
Like the Pina Colada song?
So basically, they were having trouble in their marriage, and they both, went on like dating sites to go find, something outside of marriage. and they ended up finding each other, and they were like talking back and forth for months to the point where they were finally like, we should meet. They get to the restaurant, it's them.
Oh my god, that's literally the Pina Colada song is about cheating, right?
Yeah.
That's literally the plot of the song. Oh my god,
Yeah,
because like,
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
man, I feel like everybody has a day, has a moment where you're like, I do like this goofy little like, if you like Pina
but that's the
Coladas,
thing. It's like
and then
that's to me the conclusion of it is wild to me. So it's like y'all cheated on each other with each other and still decided to get divorced. Why? You clearly
yeah, it's like the sadder ending because
you really like each other. Like this, like the fact y'all found each other out of all the thousands and millions of people in the city that you could have been talking to, y'all found each other. I think that's a sign that maybe y'all should try to work some shit out.
yeah,
Maybe go to a counseling or something, like fall in love again. I don't know what's going on.
because the conclusion of the Pina Colada song is he goes to the cafe and recognizes her, and they have a good laugh about the fact that they both put an ad in the paper seeking an affair partner. But then they're like, oh my god, our communication's like not actually that great because I didn't know those things about you, but it's all good now. Let's, I do
Right.
like Pina Coladas, all the little things in the song. And they go run off like newly re-energized in their relationship. That's sad it didn't work out for that couple in England.
Yeah. Well, it's probably. I mean, it's probably a amalgam of things. Maybe dude
There's
was
probably more
capping.
to it.
Oh, this is what I like to do to women, and his wife is like, "Bitch, you've never done that to me. What do you?"
Yeah. Exactly.
Anywho, back to Charlotte and Harry.
Back to Charlotte and Harry. I feel a little bad for Charlotte in this moment because when Carrie comes in, the other three are already there, and Carrie says I have news, and Charlotte says I have news, and Charlotte goes first. So she goes with the happy, like, I'm engaged news, and that's when Carrie's like, Berger broke up with me on a post-it, and
Yeah.
it sucks because it kind of makes Charlotte's like happy moment all about Carrie, but that's very Carrie to do.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. Like that, it's kind of one of those moments where you wait till the brunch is over and maybe just talk to like Samantha one on one. You know what I'm saying about that or something like that. Because like you don't come in with because I was like I remember I actually stopped being friends with somebody because they did this to me basically. So they send me like a happy birthday text. They're like, "Oh my god, I hope your day was so good. I hope you did everything that you wanted." And they were like, "Oh, by the way, my cat died."
Oh,
Why
why?
would you? Listen, no, sad. It's sad. It's sad that your cat died, 100%. But you don't blend the news of your cat dying with my goddamn happy birthday
No,
text.
two
Go fuck
separate things.
yourself. What's wrong with you?
Two separate things.
Two separate things. And back 2 separate days. You tell me about your cat dying the next day. You wait till after my birthday. You don't tell me on my birthday. What kind of shit is that?
Yeah. And Charlotte is sort of like, Carrie feels like the relationship had been a waste of time, and Charlotte's like, no, everything happens for a reason, because if I hadn't met and married Trey, I wouldn't have gotten divorced, and then I would have met Harry, and now I wouldn't be engaged again. And so she's kind of into it, but then she's starting to like second guess herself when she sees her old wedding dress in the closet when she's getting ready to go out to the club, and it makes her kind of like start to feel, she's like, I feel silly making like a fuss about it. This is the second time around. I think I'm just gonna keep the wedding small. I'm not gonna do bridesmaids, which cracks me up because they like all the girls cheer. They're like, yay, we're not gonna be bridesmaids.
Okay, because I mean I don't know. I've been a groomsman before. The duties weren't that crazy, but like, have you ever been a bridesmaid? And is it a lot of work?
I've been a bridesmaid, but every wedding I've been a bridesmaid for, I have already lived in California long distance, so I've had to do jack shit for every event.
Okay. Because I was wondering because the way that they were excited about not having to be bridesmaids, I'm like, damn, how much work do you got to do as a bridesmaid?
It depends, and now Charlotte's very much the type to want very involved bridesmaids, where they're gonna do planned party, bachelor party.
Yeah,
probably more so if they were younger, to be totally honest. Not like you could totally have a bachelor party or bachelorette party at any time, but you know, because remember Trey's wedding, they were like involved, in planning and picking and all these things, and you're supposed to kind of, in theory, I think, help the bride with planning and stuff like that. I personally, at this point in my old age, I if I do get married, I don't think I would, unless like my husband to be really wants like groomsmen and to do like that kind of thing. I don't think I would honestly do bridesmaids, to be totally honest. Is because if you do the matching dresses and everything, and there's always, hair and makeup and travel and hotel, there's so much, and that's usually kind of what adds up to a lot too with being a bridesmaid, is just like putting down a lot of money for it. Because usually you can't rent the dress like you can rent a tux or whatever, or a suit. You're stuck with the dress once you buy it. Shoes, hair, makeup. There's just like, and then the day of, you're kind of like fussing and helping over the bride, the bride and everything. It is, so it's a lot of work, and it's expensive. So that's why I'm kind of like, in my old age, I'm like, I would struggle to pick a maid of honor. I'd feel like I don't want to pick a maid of honor. I'm like, I don't want to put one friend above like all the others. I feel bad. And two, I just feel like it's a lot to ask of people now, like, especially now that we're like, frankly, all in like our 30s. Some people are married with kids and everything. I don't anticipate like a big matchy brides. Like, the most I would do would be like, hey, could you all wear blue? I don't really care what shade, I don't really care what style, but if you all wear blue, that'd be cool. Thanks. Like, that's about as like bridesmaid intensive as I'd get.
Yeah. I think too, as you get older too, it's like you gotta, whoever, I think it's like whoever the maid of honor is like has the most duties. You know what I mean? Like, yes, you can delegate a little bit, but like whoever the maid of honor is like, hey, you're the one that's like seeing me through all this.
Yeah.
That's kind of the move.
And like, would I have, in theory, maybe been picked to be maid of honor for like some friends back home or whatever? Possibly, but I'm not there, so I can't do any of the things you're supposed to do as a thing. Right. And it ultimately didn't, doesn't matter one way or the other. But yeah, being a bridesmaid can be a lot of work. Sucks. I had like a collection of bridesmaid dresses, because I have been a bridesmaid like several times, and I finally got rid of them. I was able to like donate them to, I think, a prom organization that provided formal wear to girls or folks who can't afford like a prom dress or whatever, which is kind of cool. So Charlotte's, like really kind of uncertain about, celebrating her wedding the second time around. And when they're at the secondary dive bar after the fact, they spot a bachelorette party. They're all drunk and happy. They're like wearing the bride's wearing a veil and everything. And Charlotte's like really sad, and she's like, kind of wish I'd never been married before, and I hate that I found the love of my life, after the fact, and I feel like I can't celebrate it in a big way. And Carrie's like, that's not true. And so the bachelorette party asks them like, hey, could you take our picture? And then Carrie's like, she's getting married too. Look at this ring. And the drunk girls are like, oh my God, take a picture with that.
Yeah, I'll give Carrie points. She was actually being a decent friend in that moment. I mean, the thing about it is like, I know Charlotte's feeling is a type of way, but it's like, just because you had a big, like, part of me is like, yes, maybe you should scale it back a little bit, because this is the second one. So like, you're not gonna have it in like a fucking castle like you had before and shit like that. Because you're not marrying a man who has that kind of money like you did before. So yeah, you can scale it back a little bit, but you shouldn't feel ashamed for celebrating your wedding. Like, you found the love of your life. That's what people are searching for, and you know what I'm saying. So like, you should be able to celebrate. And if your friends are your friends, they're gonna celebrate with you. And if they're not, then you know who your friends. You know what I mean? Like, if they're pissed off about not wanting to do this again, like, hey, well, consider yourself uninvited. Fuck you saying.
Yeah, and I do love. I can't wait for. Because I should point out, it's still early 2000s, so the bachelorette party has like a disposable camera. I can't wait for them to develop those photos later and then be like, who is this lady we took a photo with?
Oh, hilarious. Random white girl in our party.
Yeah, because we should mention the bachelorette party was all black girls, like in their 20s or whatever, who let Charlotte keep like the veil from the bride, which is really nice of them. But I do imagine them like picking up the pictures from the developer and then being like, who's this goddamn white lady we're with? What the fuck?
Who's this? Who's this waspy ass white bitch in my
Yeah.
fucking picture right now?
But Charlotte is rejuvenated by it because at the diner, after the fact, she's like, I'm excited about the wedding and I do want you guys to be bridesmaids. And they all kind of glare at her. She's like, you don't have to wear the matching dresses.
Okay, now let me ask you this. Okay, this might be a stupid question, and I'm sure the answer is kind of obvious. But like, okay, she still has the wedding dress from her last. Is it tacky to wear that same dress to your next wedding?
In theory, yes, because it's full of cursed energy. You don't want to bring that into the new relationship.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. That's what I was thinking. But I was like, but like, if it's still because you only wear it once anyway. But I mean, how many times you get? I mean, unless like there's some people who put on their wedding clothes to renew their vows, but most people don't when they do that. Yeah. So it's like you really only wear it once. So it's like you have the opportunity to wear it again. But I understand too, like you don't want to bring that energy. Also, I think as a groom, I probably feel a little insulted about that.
Yeah, because like you don't care enough about me.
Like,
to get a new gown, and like even though like I know gowns are expensive, you kind of want like your first look to be truly a first look. Like in theory, Harry has never seen Charlotte in that dress, like obviously,
right,
or more than likely hasn't. But it would still be like, oh, like that's what it's like I've read a million stories. It's like, hey, can you use an engagement ring from a broken engagement for like a new one? And it's like, well, yeah, you can to save money, but like, doesn't it, as superstitious as it sounds, it feels a little cursed to be like, that engagement broke. Why would you use that ring to
it's just
I know it's not like the Lord of the Rings one ring, to rule them all, but
Sauron, the Eye of Sauron. Yeah. I mean, because that's also too, it's a little bit insulting because there's no way I don't think anyone would be comfortable with the same ring you put on another woman's finger that you love, like you're bringing that love to like this relationship. Like, no. This is supposed to be new love, not the same old shit you did with that person. So I kind of get that. Like, if anything, sell that ring and whatever you get off of it.
Exactly. Yeah. Trade it in, get something different. Do fresh energy, you want to.
For sure.
But speaking of bad energy, let's talk about the Post-it. So bad.
Post-it girl.
I feel she's going through it. She's going through it. She like stomps into that brunch. She's so fucking pissed off. I mean, I don't blame her. It is
listen again. Does she deserve the breakup? Yes, but I still don't. But I also think she's pissed about it.
Yeah. Oh, totally. It's justified.
It should. Super immature. Come on.
Miranda's like, weren't you gonna break up with him? And she's like, oh yeah, I was. But then he came over and we thought we were gonna work things out, and then he left in the middle of the night. And so she's like,
because that's a shitty thing to do. Like, you come over, you're like, oh, let's work it out. You bang her one more time, then you're like, actually, I'm good. Like, because it just seems like all he wanted to do was hit it one more time, and then roll out and like not feel guilty about it. But like, you still kind of feel guilty about it because you didn't even face her in the morning. You wrote her a note and then left.
Yeah, it's questionable.
Not a good look.
No,
not a good look. Not a good look.
Yep, it's another strike against Berger, who I just wanted to like so bad, but he fucked up too much.
Yeah. When you said when he first came on to the show, you told me that he was one of the guys that like people didn't like for some reason. You said, I'll see. You didn't tell me it was gonna be this bad.
Yeah.
I thought they were just gonna have like a bad breakup or like have a bad relationship like that. It was that and some. Like
because he starts off very funny, very charming, but he becomes such a like a whiny little bitch, and pulls all these punk moves, because he's so much more insecure than you kind of realize when you first get to meet him as a character. But unlike, Berger, Carrie's like, I'm not going to dignify any of this with like a response. I'm not going to leave an angry phone call. It's, I feel like, and that's what she says, I feel like this relationship was a waste of time. And Charlotte does her little like, no, everything happens for a reason. And like shows off the engagement ring, and Carrie whips out the post-it note. She's like, paper covers rock.
I actually like that joke. No, I like that joke. I thought it was a solid joke. I was like, was it mean and kind of shit on Charlotte a little bit? Yeah, it was, but like, solid joke though. Solid joke.
Yeah. So Carrie's out walking with Samantha after the brunch, and she's like, "You're right. We should keep it light. Don't want to be a girlfriend. And that way you can never become an ex." And she's like, "I'm gonna keep this mourning period of this relationship brief. Haha, I'm over it." She's like, "Let's go out to party on the town." And Samantha's like, "I'll take you to bed. New York's hottest new club. It's all bed themed."
Yeah, what she said. She's like, "I'll take you to bed." She's like, "Wait, I'm not off, man." She's like, I mean, but Samantha ain't even down with that. So like, why would she even assume that that's what she meant?
Yeah. Well, remember, Samantha did date that woman a while ago.
Oh, that's right. For like a solid 4 episodes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a hot run. It was a hot run. But it was like oh man, okay, never mind. I'm gonna say this another day. But like, no, because like something similar happens in the next show that we were talking about, possibly watching for the podcast. So you'll see when we get to it. So it's just I'll save it for then.
So they get into bed. They get the cool like a reserved VIP bed for 4 or whatever, and they're looking around, and Carrie sees Berger's friend Michael Showalter from Wet Hot American Summer, might be where a lot of people recognize him from. Remember Coop in Wet Hot American Summer?
No, I never saw it. About the movie or the show?
The movie. The original movie.
Never saw it. I saw the show, but I don't remember it.
Yeah. He's kind of like one of the main guys, and he's also done a lot of directing and stuff like that. And in fact, he directed The Eyes of Tammy Faye, which earned Jessica Chastain her Oscar this last year.
Nice.
So he's done a lot of. It's good. Speaking of Andrew Garfield, I did not mean to make that connection, but hey, here we are.
It is.
I was like, I like him. I just think he's cute. And he's really funny. And he's taller than you think. I one time was in a line to go see A Star Is Born at the Cinerama Dome. And we're standing kind of near each other, like waiting for popcorn, and out of the corner of my eye, I was like, oh my god, that's him, right? And he's like not towering over me, but he's definitely like a couple inches taller than me. Now everything online says he's 5'10", and that's how tall I am. So I was like,
I think he's like a 6. I think
he's about 6 foot even. I'll give him 6 foot. Yeah. Anywho, not the point of the thing. I just got Garfield on the brain. So she sees the friend, and she's like, we saw him. I can't just ignore him. I'm gonna take the high road, and I'm gonna go say hello. And then it's so awkward. She goes over there. She's like, hey. And he's like, oh, hey. And he introduces her to the other people he's with as Berger's girlfriend.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't know. Obviously,
he didn't know.
Around to his friends yet. Or either they're not that close as friends. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not a guy like Berger be hard to be friends with, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I think
I'm saying that as a human. Like, he might be a little bit of a, you know what I mean? Like, he's probably ruined a lot of nights out. You know what I mean?
I 100% see that. Yes. Oh my god, that's a great description of
him wallowing in his own bullshit, like coming out. Guys, I don't really feel it tonight. Like he's probably or gotten in fights with people, like like verbal conflict. Like he's that dude. He's the dude. Like he's the friend, but like he's the friend that everybody keeps around so they can shit on. He's that. That friend.
Oh my god, what oh wow. This is why it's fun to have a totally fresh perspective on the show, because that is I don't think anyone's ever described him that way in like all the like, writing and discourse on the show. It's been like, frankly, it's more like female perspective of him, like of how he comes off, where he is very charming, but he's so insecure, he's like a weaker guy. But that's yeah, I could see him like, if you're a girl and you go up to that friend group, you kind of pick up that like he's the one to maybe keep an eye on, like not like he's
Well, like,
being creepy and bad to
no,
you,
not
but
creepy.
like
Just like he just didn't ruin the night.
yeah, he's just like
Wait,
the vibes are off.
you remember who was something earlier in the series of Sex in the Series? Remember there was like I can't remember. I think maybe it was one of like Big's friends or something like that. Like came by, he was like the angry dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? I don't remember who it was, but he was a friend of a friend, and he was like the angry guy. And I'm thinking like that's who Berger is. Like the one you bring around, it's like, all right, like he's here, but like try to ignore him as much as you can because he's gonna basically antagonize everybody. Like,
he's gonna say some shit, like he's gonna ruin it, like when Charlotte was with on the date with them the other night, right. He's trying to be funny, but he's just being nasty, like
kind of snot. Yeah. Like he's definitely the guy where it's like if you're the guys in the group and you see a group of girls, you're like, all right, we're gonna go over and talk to the group of girls. You got to be like, you be cool. Before y'all even leave,
this up for us.
You need to be fucking cool right now, okay? Like I need stop drinking, no more scotch, switch to beer, so you can go over here and not fuck this up for the rest of us.
Yeah, because he's gonna make like what he thinks is like an intellectual generalization about women and just fucking kill the vibe.
It's not even that. It's not even that. Here's what's gonna happen. Because he's the kind of guy that like sees himself as this like quirky guy, right? So if he goes over there and the conversations are having, and he's like not getting any kind of attention from any of the women, then he's just gonna start like dropping grenades into the conversation, just like trying to like get attention on him, or just try to disrupt the whole thing because he's not getting what he thinks he should be getting. Like he's that dude. He's that fucking guy. That's why you would have to check him before you even go there. But like, you fucking be cool.
Oh my god, 100%. So it's so awkward though, because so the friend doesn't know, and Carrie like kind of it's like, hey, just so you know, we broke up, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It's like, I heard you guys had all kinds of problems, and she's like, oh, what? Like kind of like this close to going, what did you hear?
Yeah.
And then she blurts out like, well, he was bad in bed. Anyway, you look great. Have a good night. Bye. And she goes back to her group.
Okay. Listen, was she being petty? Yes. And I think and again, I'm gonna say that I'm gonna keep saying this. Did she deserve the breakup? Yes. However, I also think that she deserves to be petty in every way. I honestly think she fucked up by going back to like try to amend what she said. I think she should have just let that ride because he broke up with her through a post-it note. Who gives a fuck if he goes back and tells her that he said that?
Yeah,
maybe you were shit. That's why you had to put on a post-it note. Don't hate me. Well, go fuck yourself. I hate you.
And like maybe they were good at sex at some point, but remember they started rocky with sex to begin with, so she's not really
very rocky. Like almost broke up because of how bad it was.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I agree. I think she.
No, that would have got to him. He probably would never be able to write another book again. if his man would have been back and told him that shit, he would have been like, "Wait, the whole time I thought I was getting bet." Like, oh man.
I wish she had. Oh,
that's what I'm saying. She should have let it ride. I don't know why she went back to try to like
cover those gangster shit
too.
It,
but she didn't, by the way. Yeah. But still, like you should have just let that ride because that was the best thing you could have done, honestly. Yeah. With how he did it.
Would have been so fucking gangster. Just be like, yeah, well, he was bad in bed. Go tell your friend that. Like, mic drop. Walk out of the club.
Go back to your night. Drink some champagne on the bed. Like, continue having fun.
But no, she's Carrie, so she keeps fucking it up. She goes back and she's like, she tells them what happened. She's like, well, now I feel bad because that wasn't even true. So she's like slams a bunch more champagne, and she's like, goes back and she's like, let me try to explain. He actually was good in bed. It's like it's going into all this detail, and she's like, but I'm hurt, so I said it. And he's like, he's so even keeled, this friend of his.
He's like, cool. I don't want anything to do with this.
Please,
like,
almost like, please stop talking to me.
Also, by the way, you know what else makes my theory even more sound? If those were his friends, where's Berger?
Yeah.
He's the guy you really don't want around.
Yeah.
They probably were there talking shit about him anyway.
Hey guys, guess what? I got a cool invite to like New York's hottest new club, Bed, and they go, oh, cool. How many? Like, can we come? Like, yeah. Like, hey, should we invite Berger?
No,
man. I just want to have a good time tonight, you know.
Right. Yeah, no, he probably was like, hey, I got an invite to this cool new club. Don't tell Berger.
Don't tell Berger. I just want to have a good time tonight, you know. I want to meet some chicks. It's bed themed. Like, how great is it that it's bed themed? I just want to meet some women, you know, like invite him to bed. It'd be funny. And then but if you invite Berger, man, he's gonna kill the mood.
Yeah, he's gonna make it weird. He's gonna make it weird.
He's gonna double flip off somebody like he does to his voicemail every time his ex calls him. But she just keeps going because he's like, yeah, breakups are tough. And she's like, I don't want to drag you into this, but he broke up with me over on a Post-it, and he's like, so doesn't care. He's just like, yes. And then when he doesn't really react, she's like, see, most people have had a bigger reaction to this, and I'm just trying to figure out like why he did it. And he's like, maybe he was afraid. Women can get this is a little telling though, because he's like, yeah, maybe he was afraid women can get really angry. And she was like, okay, you know, I would have been more understanding if he had just, you know, broken up with me direct. And another guy in the group is like, yeah, but you say that, but then women get all freak and psycho bitch about stuff. And the friend is like, there's no good way to break up. And Carrie's like, actually there is. It's to do it to your face and be a man about it and like have the guts. And she's like ranting, and you know, you want to not be the bad guy, and most women aren't psycho, and you know, just want to end into a relationship with a little like respect and dignity. And she's like yelling and ranting and pointing by the end, and she finishes and she's like, and she leaves and she gets the girl. She's like, we gotta go right now. I fucked up so bad. Let's leave.
We gotta go. Code red.
Abort. We're out.
Too many grenades in the foxhole.
Mm-hmm. But do you feel that way? Are guys like, oh, I can't break up with her, she's gonna be a fucking psycho about it?
No, I don't think that most guys think that way. I think if a guy thinks that way, he knows that he did things that could lead up to her being irrational or her emotions kind of flying out because of things that he's done. And to avoid, and the reason why guys do like a Post-it note or a text message or something like that is to avoid that, because they know that they did actions that would supplement her kind of going crazy. Now, correct, we do have to take some responsibility. So if you go crazy as a woman, that means you were already kind of crazy. He just like, you know, kind of set fire to the gasoline that was already there. So there's a little bit of that, but like, no, I don't think most guys think like that. Like, most guys are just like, I think most guys feel as if like, we just don't want to hurt your feelings. Because, you know, we've been taught most of our whole lives, like, don't go to hurt a girl's feelings, treat them like princesses, yada, yada, yada. You know what I'm saying? So like, you break up with a girl, you know her feelings are going to get hurt. And like, you know, that makes us feel like shit, because also not only have we been told not to hurt a girl's feelings, we also have been told that you're supposed to protect women. And if you're hurting their feelings, you're not protecting them. So that makes us feel guilty. But we don't think that you're crazy. 9 times out of 10, if we think that you're crazy, it's because you probably acted crazy, or we've done something to build up to like, oh, she's gonna she's gonna go crazy if I do it this way or don't do it this way, yada yada. So no, we're not like that.
Good. It's a questionable.
At least adult guys. I don't know what teenage men are like, or fucking, you know, ones in their 20s. But I know guys in their 30s. We're not thinking that. We just don't want to hurt your feelings. But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. So they race outside, and Carrie is like super embarrassed, and she catches a whiff of pot. And she's like super excited to get high. And Charlotte's like, I don't know. And Carrie's like, look, this will help me get over the Post-it, because like, this has to be the day like something else happened besides the fucking Post-it, man. Like it's just got to be different. I get that. And I love this little joke. Charlotte's like, where are we even gonna get any weed? And Samantha's like, oh, my dealer's out of town. He's in the Hamptons. Which is like,
because Samantha smokes on a regular, right?
Yeah, we've seen her.
She like that's like her kind of like part of her lifestyle a little bit.
Yeah, we've definitely seen her with a joint multiple times.
Yeah, and also too in their episode where it ends with them like getting high and eating a bunch of chicken. Remember, she was dating the dude who owned the comic book
Carrie dates like the comic book store
shop.
guy and gets high and eats a bunch of KFC with that dude.
Yeah, but remember at the end
after at the end, Carrie brings the weed back home and blazes up with Samantha.
They all slept together.
Yeah, but I don't think Charlotte's there because Charlotte is not a weed girl.
Yeah, it was just Miranda, Samantha, and Carrie. There was
but that's when Miranda spots the guys and she's gonna go ask them for weed, and she learns like, okay, if we go around the corner to this other dive bar thing, we can score weed there. No luck, but this is where we see the bachelorette party. Samantha hits on the guy and almost gets attacked by the gals. And so they get it. So after Carrie and Samantha run away from the bar, Carrie's outside. She's like, this night is just such a bust. But Samantha has a joint. She got it from the bartender because she paid the bartender to change the channel to the TRL repeat.
Yeah. So apparently $20 got her 3 drinks, a joint, and a channel change, which is insane. I was like, what bar? Deal. Write the name of this bar down because when next time I go to New York, I'm going to this bar.
Yeah, it seems like a cool place.
I like this episode because it kind of showed the contrast of New York because like literally around the corner was this chic, new, like crazy, heavily designed, nice, fancy place, and then a block away is like the diviest of dive bars. Like, you know, it's insane because that's literally New York. Like you go from a place that's like fucking, you gotta wear a suit and tie, and then right around the corner it's like t-shirts and ball caps. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. So they light up the joint, and Carrie's like, "Men are bullshit," and she questions being a girlfriend. She's like, "No good can come of it. You know, you just get hurt." And that's when Samantha like steps away to do the phone call, and she's just enjoying the weed, and it's apparently pretty strong. And she's pondering. She's like, you know, nothing's gonna make this day anything other than the day I got dumped via Post-it, and that's when a cop rolls up. Puts her
real quick.
Puts her right in the back of the car. Miranda's trying to like talk him out of taking her like downtown, and they're like, she's had a terrible day. She's usually so law-abiding, you know. Well, and the guy's like, I don't care. She broke the law, and I think Charlotte's like, her boyfriend broke up with her on a Post-it note. He's like, no way that happened. And then Carrie,
that's what I'm saying. Most guys aren't doing that shit. We're like, Post-it note, come on, that's come on, no way.
Carrie slaps that Post-it note on the window of the cop car, and I love the way he reads it with his like monotone. He's like, I'm sorry, I can't. Don't hate me. Brutal. Just like I love this guy. It's such a great character actor performance in like one scene. It's so perfect. But it is brutal. He relents, and he's like, I'll write her up for smoking in a bar. And Samantha's like, this is my favorite little exchange. Samantha's like, well, can't you just let her off? And he goes, I'm sorry, I can't. Don't hate me. That's in the ticket.
Solid rebuttal.
So funny.
And here's the thing too, right? Because you got to think about the time period this is like in New York. Because New York, we just became legal last year.
Yeah.
Last year, 2021, it just became legal. So at this time, he did her a solid because literally, she could have literally gone to jail that night for having that little bit of a joint. And that ain't even nothing. That ain't even distribution size. It's nothing. Like, that's literally a personal usage. And she still could have spent time in jail and had to pay a fine and had to go to rehab.
Yeah. She got lucky.
Lucky.
Pays to be a white lady.
Being who she is, Ryder, you know that shit would have came out. She would have lost her job, probably.
Yeah.
And her book sales probably would have plummeted a little bit too. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, these people, you know, Midwesterners and Southerners be like, oh, I'm not gonna eat this trash.
Oh, my stars.
Yeah. Oh man, like dude, so much could have happened if that cop wasn't somewhat cool.
Yeah. But they get to that diner we've been referencing all episode, enjoying a giant ice cream sundae. And the bell finally tolls midnight, and Carrie's like, aha, it's official. It's no longer the day I was broken up with a Post-it. It's the day I got arrested for smoking a doobie.
Doobie, that's like you with your reefer earlier.
Reefer. Two of my favorite euphemisms. One is from Letterkenny, this show I love, and they call it the electric lettuce, I think.
All right, that's not
is that
bad.
what they call it? And then there's the Funny or Die series with like about very special episodes, and so there was one from Seventh Heaven where like someone's dealing weed or whatever, and it's like, oh my god, but they have like a million different goofy ones, but the one that sticks in my head is the boogie down broccoli.
I like that.
I like that one broccoli. A lot.
Pretty solid. I'm with it.
Yeah. Is it wait, is electric lettuce or the devil's lettuce? I forget which, but it's one.
I've heard that one, but not from Letterkenny. It was on the Heartbreak Kid. Danny McBride says that.
Yeah.
Because they're walking. Because remember when him and when Ben Stiller and Michelle Monaghan, they were smoking weed on the beach, and he's like coming out here to chastise her because their grandpa like peed in the hallway because they got too drunk. And he's like, smells like somebody's been out here smoking the devil's lettuce. Like as he said that as they're walking away. Smells funny out here. Like somebody's been smoking the devil's lettuce.
There's so many good euphemisms for weed. They crack me up. But so she's happy and she's super high. But Charlotte's like, you know what? Your Post-it was your get out of jail free card, because if it had never happened, and Samantha's like, all right, knock it off. But Miranda's kind of on board with the philosophy now, because she's like, if I hadn't become a mom, I wouldn't have stopped eating, and then I wouldn't have realized the city is full of men. And Carrie's like, I know what I learned from my relationship with Berger. And then she just totally loses it, like she blames because she's fucking baked.
Also, though, but here's the thing: Charlotte's theory doesn't really hold up in Carrie, because if her and Berger never dated, then they would have wanted to. She wouldn't have wanted to like have such a big crazy night where all that shit. Like they just would have went to to bed, had a good time, and probably gone home from there. You know what I'm saying? Because that was why she wanted, because like they left bed because she ran into Berger's friends, and then she wanted to get high. That's why she met the group. That's why they went to the dive bar. But none of that would have happened if her and Berger didn't get together. So her theory doesn't really stand up for Carrie.
Yeah, and they might not have even gone to bed if she hadn't broken up with Berger.
That's also true, because she was like, because it was kind of, I mean, I don't know. Well, they might have though, because Samantha's always
inviting them places.
At least Carrie would have went to bed, because her and Samantha always do the new chic kind of cool club thing. You know what I mean?
But then they probably wouldn't have gone. They might have gone around the corner.
I don't think so.
To see the bar, the TRL, but I don't think so either. I think Samantha would have either like found another way to see it or something. But I don't.
Yeah, they probably, or they just. What more than likely would have happened is like they would have had a couple drinks at the bar, or at bed, had a good time, maybe had some food, and then they probably just would have went home, and she would have probably watched it at home.
Yeah.
Because because to be honest, right, she could have easily TiVo'd it. You think Samantha don't got TiVo? She got TiVo.
Samantha has TiVo. She just doesn't make a big fucking deal out of it.
For sure.
But they enjoy the ice cream sundae, and Carrie's like, I may never learn why Berger and I split, but at least there was a banana split. The end.
I didn't see no bananas in that split, by the way.
I didn't either. No, I don't care
already.
I don't care for banana splits myself, so I'm not
just give me the ice cream. I don't really need the banana in there.
Don't add any fruit into that situation. Just give me the ice cream.
We're good. Unless the ice cream already has fruit, like it's only like strawberry ice cream and it already has some fruit in it. Hey, you don't gotta add anything else. We're good.
But thus concludes the Berger saga. This is like the last, I think, truly the last we really ever hear of him or see of him in any way, shape, or form. But that's you've lived through the Berger era now. I know, good riddance. I always forget because I get sucked in the beginning too. I'm always like, oh right, he's kind of fun, and then you're like, oh wait, he's
that's kind of a great thing about the character because that's kind of cool because it's kind of a great metaphor for relationships because sometimes they do start out with great passion and love and it's like oh shit this is gonna be the one that lasts forever and then it don't and you're like oh shit I guess I got to do this again. So it's kind of great. It's kind of great. It's good. It's good that they show stuff like that in a TV show because most people think because like also too who knows like these few episodes might have helped somebody else get out of a toxic relationship because they might they might have been like we started out so great we have to keep trying. It's like no you need to break up.
Just dump them.
You have to let it go. It's killing you.
Yeah. So you can find us though. Don't break up with us. Stick with us and find us quickly on Instagram at Show Me What Podcast, and they'll take you to our Twitter, our Facebook, and our YouTube. I got him good with that transition. Ooh, smoothest segue in the biz, baby. And if you want more malarkey like that, you can catch me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Elizabeth Movies. Where can they find you, Chris?
If you do break up with us, just don't do it in Post-it note, because I'll come for you. I'll find you.
Yeah.
But you can find me if you want to find me and send me a Post-it note and break up with me, that's fine. You can find me on all social media at Christopher T. Mack, as you can see on the screen if you're watching. And if you are listening, then you just gotta write it down.
Yeah. And as always, check out Arlo Australia candles. Promo code Show Me Miss, save 10% on candles. It's candle season. I'll keep saying that until it's not candle season. And then
first of all, it's candle season, and most importantly, it's candle giving season. Because let me tell you something. Christmas time is the best time to have candles around, and nobody's gonna be upset if you send them a nice, good smelling, healthy made candle. I know I'm saying soy-free wax, lead-free wicks. Come on. All ethically sourced from Australia, so the oils and the scents and all the ingredients come from Australia. So you're not even getting no bullshit; you're getting the real shit. Nobody's gonna be mad at you for sending that. So go to Arlo Australia, ARLO_Australia. You can find them on Instagram, or you can go to their Etsy and get yourself some candles or get somebody else some candles because it's just a good gift for yourself and others.
And we will see you next week.